You know that feeling? It's like a Tuesday night. You open your banking app, not because you really need to buy anything, but just to check. And there's this quiet, low-grade hum of anxiety that never quite goes away. The numbers, they look fine, but they also look almost exactly the same as they did 3 months ago. It feels like you're just pouring all this effort into a bucket, but there's a hole in the bottom, and you're just trying to keep the water level from dropping.
And the crazy thing is, you're doing everything you are told to do. You got the good job, you're putting money in your 401k, you pay your bills on time. You are literally following the rules for success. So why? Why does it feel like you're just treading water while it seems like everyone else is lapping you? Okay, I want you to lean in for this, because I'm going to propose something that might sound a little out there at first. What if you're not the problem? What if the financial playbook, the one everyone calls responsible and safe, is actually a trap? A trap designed to keep you right where you are, running hard, but staying in the same place. To show you what I mean, let's run a little experiment. We're going to follow two people. They start at the exact same point, same salary, same age, but they make very different choices. One follows the rules we all know. The other one follows the math that almost nobody talks about. And the results are, honestly, pretty shocking. So on one side, we have Nena. She's following what I call the visible script, the one that looks great on social media. She bought a house because, renting is just throwing money away. She's got a nice, new, reliable car with a totally reasonable monthly payment. She even has a financial advisor. Then over here, we have Ian. Same age, same salary, but he's following the invisible math. He rents, he drives a 10-year-old car he paid for in cash, and he just automatically invests his money into these boring, low-cost index funds. Now, from the outside, Nena looks like she's crushing it, right? But the numbers tell a very, very different story.
So let's fast forward 30 years. Nina, after a full career of doing everything right, will have a net worth of just under $1 million. And hey, that sounds pretty good. $1 million is a respectable outcome for a life of hard work, for sure. But just hold that thought for a second.
Because in that exact same amount of time, Ian, the one who looked like he was being kind of weird with his money, will have over $3 million. That is a $2.2 million difference. They started at the same line. They have the same salary. So the real question is, how? How is it even possible for such a massive gap to be created by what look like small, normal, responsible decisions?
All right, let's become detectives for a minute. Let's break down exactly how that $2.2 million disappears. It all starts with the things we're told are safe, but are actually financially toxic.
You've heard this question before, right? You walk into a car dealership and they ask this. And it sounds so helpful, doesn't it? Like they're just trying to make this big purchase fit into your budget. But I'm telling you, it's not customer service. It's a magic trick.
They call this the monthly payment trap. The second you answer that question, your brain completely changes focus. It stops thinking about the huge $45,000 total price and zeroes in on that small, manageable number they just gave you, like $687. It's a brilliant psychological trick, and it's the very first step in a cycle that just slowly drains your wealth without you ever even noticing. And this is where it gets really crazy. This is the true cost. If you took that average new car payment, around $700 a month, and instead you just invested it into a simple S&P 500 index fund for 30 years, it would grow to nearly $1.6 million. Think about that. The cycle of financing a depreciating asset isn't really about transportation, it's wealth destruction, with heated seats.
Okay, so what about the biggest purchase of all, the holy grail of personal finance, buying a house? We have all had it drilled into our heads that renting is just throwing money away. But the hard data, the actual numbers, say something completely different. A Nobel Prize winner, Robert Shiller, tracked home prices for over a century. And you know what he found? After you account for inflation, they go up by about 1% a year. The stock market over that same time, about 7%. So the advice to buy a house is basically advice to choose the investment with a much, much worse track record.
And then there's Greg, right? Your friendly financial advisor. His 1% fee sounds so small. It sounds like nothing, totally trivial. But compound interest, it works both ways. As you can see here, over 30 years, that tiny 1% fee can eat up almost $1 million of your future wealth. It's not a bill you pay. It's this quiet drag, a ghost tax on your future that you never see, but you absolutely will feel.
So let's recap. We've seen how these quote-unquote safe choices, the new car, the house as an investment, the friendly advisor, all have really terrible math behind them. And this is the point where you have to stop and ask a much deeper question. If the math is so bad, who wrote this playbook to begin with? Seriously, think about it. Why does everyone, from our parents to so-called experts on TV, repeat the exact same advice? If it leads to a $2.2 million shortfall, why is this considered the default safe way to go? Well, the answer is a little uncomfortable, but it's also incredibly simple.
You just have to follow the money. Who profits? Well, the bank profits from your 30-year mortgage interest. The car dealer profits when you finance a brand new car every 5 years. The advisor profits by taking a cut of your money every single year. You see the pattern? Nobody in this system makes money when you drive a paid-off used car, rent smartly, and buy your own low-cost index funds.
So here it is. This is the big idea, the counterintuitive insight that changes the whole game. The conventional money playbook isn't broken. It's not an accident. It's working perfectly. It's a business model, and it was designed for the profit of the people selling you the pieces. It was never, ever designed for your optimal financial success.
So if that's the trap, what's the escape route? Let's go back and look at Ian's path. Because it's not about being cheap or depriving yourself or living like a monk. It's just about a simple but really powerful reordering of your financial life.
This is it. This is the whole strategy, and it flips the old model completely upside down. See, instead of spending first and then hoping to save what's left over, Ian saves first. Before his paycheck even hits his main checking account, a big chunk of it is automatically sent to his investment account. He doesn't need willpower because the system does all the heavy lifting for him. Then he just lives his life on the rest.
And let's be really clear here. Ian lives a totally normal, comfortable life. He's not suffering. He goes out to nice dinners, he takes vacations, he enjoys himself. The only difference is the order of operations. For him, building wealth happens first, automatically and invisibly. Lifestyle spending just happens with whatever is left over. He pays his future self before anyone else gets a dime.
And this really illustrates the choice we're all making. The conventional path, it looks safe, right? Because everybody's doing it, it feels normal, but it's actually a gamble that you'll somehow have enough in the end. The unconventional path, yeah, it looks risky to your friends and family. You're still renting, but it's based on the cold, hard certainty of math. You're basically trading short-term social approval for actual long-term financial freedom.
So, we end right back where we started. It's a quiet Tuesday night. You're about to open that banking app. The only question that really matters is, which story do you want to see? Do you want to see the story of following a playbook that was never written for you? Or the story of writing your own, based on a future you actually want to live in? The choice, in the end, is all yours.